All right, welcome into Off the Radar, taking a look at just grab bag of stories from across the sports landscape. And we'll start off with Florida State and their athletic director hire. I know something that Paul's been monitoring very closely. And by the way, thanks to Pickup Outfitters for their sponsorship of this segment.
Yep.
Do appreciate them. And Paul, looked like Vince Tyra was all set to leave Louisville and go be the new athletic director at Florida State. And in a surprising turn of events, you know, a day after what Tyra got out of like his contract and everything seems to appear to be, you know, set up for him to go lead the Noles in Tallahassee. Instead, it is Michael Alford, who is the new athletic director at Florida State, an in-house hire. He will begin officially on January the 3rd. He has been the president and CEO of the Seminole Boosters for the last year and a half or so, and was previously an AD at Central Michigan from 2017 to 2020 before joining Florida State. And he succeeds David Coburn, who I know you weren't really a big fan of, right?
Well, I mean, he was supposed to be the interim AD who came in to fix the books, and then he had the job for like 4 years.
Just around, he just stuck it out.
He just was there, like, and it stayed in this, kind of, hamster wheel of like, come on, if you want to grow, you got to get somebody who knows what they're doing in the modern athletic department. It's not a knock on David Coburn, but he was brought in to do one thing. He did it and then kept the job. It just didn't make sense to me.
Not his fault.
Yeah, I know. I'm not, like I said, but it was more everybody above him not making good decisions. What Vince Tyra did, from the best I can see, was he and the president at Louisville, who's now going to Penn State, had a conflict. The board was kind of upset with both of them. Vince Tyra used this job offer from Florida State to get his 30-day non-compete dropped and his 30-day out clause dropped so he could go take whatever job he wants, which apparently wasn't the FSU job. And it was the new president anyway at FSU who wanted to bring in Vince Tyra. So then it doesn't happen. Florida State really got used in this. And then they hired the guy that everybody thought they were going to hire all along, which was Alford. So it's weird.
Yep. So, weird, but they have their new athletic director. So Alford instead of Tyra, and FSU will move forward. But that was a little bit of a surprising turn of events and interesting kind of way of handling it by Vince Tyra. Meanwhile, EA Sports, the new college football video game that everybody's been waiting on for, ever since it ended. And then there was the announcement, earlier this year, a few months back. I lose track of the timeline of the last 2 years, quite honestly. But they had the little teaser that was put out about college football and a video game returning. Corey Moss, who is the CEO of the Collegiate Licensing Company, said that EA Sports is aiming to launch the new college football video game in the summer of 2023. That's the hope as of right now. And obviously with NIL and name, image, likeness, that's allowing this to happen because now you can use name, image, likeness, and it's not going to be the generic game where you have everything but the players' names on there, even though they look like the guys, they play the same positions, and they wear the same numbers. It will actually be, Gary Bohannon listed on the video game or whatever. But summer of 2023 is what we're looking at, and that will be when you can get your hands on the new video game, the new college football video game, which I'm sure a lot of people will go nuts over.
Jack is going to be there on the first day. I know he will. You won't? No?
No, he's not going to. I thought he was a big college football video game fan, but I guess we're both wrong on that.
I thought for sure. Oh, yeah, he's mad at EA Sports. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. He's upset with EA Sports. Well, that's good
By
news.
By the way, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm good.
All right. Simone Biles has been named the Time Magazine 2021 Athlete of the Year. The magazine saying she helped to propel mental health to the forefront of a broader cultural conversation. And Biles told the magazine, "I do believe everything happens for a reason, and there was a purpose. Not only did I get to use my voice, but it was validated as well." She's arguably the greatest gymnast of all time. And, she went through a lot this past year. So Simone Biles, Time Magazine Athlete of the Year.
I wonder if the tennis player was involved in that voting. The young lady that withdrew, that had problems with press conferences, and she just kind of went into hiding.
Naomi Osaka?
Yeah. I wonder how much she got involved in that voting as well. Okay.
I don't know.
Did you have a problem with Simone Biles getting it?
No.
Oh, okay.
She went through the whole Larry Nassar thing, and and then the injury, and then having the whatever the term is for gymnasts. Simone Biles went through a hell of a lot, so congratulations to her on being the Time Athlete of the Year. The HBO Lakers series has now got its title and its premiere date. This is going to be interesting to watch because I saw a little bit of the preview of the look at the Showtime era Lakers coming from HBO. It's based on the 2014 book Showtime by Jeff Pearlman, and it's got Adrian Brody as Pat Riley. And have you seen the pictures of him?
Yeah.
Very 70s Pat Riley.
Yeah. I think John C. Reilly is Dr. Jerry Buss, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's got an interesting cast. I'm excited to see the Lake Show documentary, or not documentary, but the series.
Yeah, so HBO Max Twitter account, they've been promoting a whole lot of it. It'll be coming tomorrow, and Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty will be coming out, I guess, today, maybe 24 hours later. So, yeah, that's going to be out, the new Lakers HBO show, so you can check that out. Pat McAfee, he's really had a hell of a career post-NFL, and his radio show and all that he does, was Barstool for a little while, and then basically launched his own deal. And, he's got, like a lot of people like we do, we've got BetUS. There's others out there that sponsor shows and whatnot. And FanDuel is one of those. And FanDuel and Pat McAfee have come to terms on a new deal. It's a 4-year deal. It's actually got
crazy.
It's actually got an opt-out after 3 years, but a roughly $30 million per year deal for the Pat McAfee show. 4 years, $30 million per with FanDuel. He put out a video to announce it and announced some various donations to charity, not for an offensive lineman to come play for him, but just actual charity. So, yeah, I mean, Pat McAfee, you got to respect the hustle, the personality, the grind. He seems like a great dude, was a heck of a football player, very entertaining, and dabbled in wrestling a little bit, even though I don't watch that product. But give it up to him, man. What a rise for Pat McAfee.
And it has been skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And he is as cool in person as you could imagine what you may see on his TV show.
Yeah.
Go FanDuel. There we go.
Florida International expected to hire Mike McIntyre as head coach. Just one note out of the coaching carousel. Although I know Florida International not exactly taking the headlines from a lot of the other schools. Also, Hugh Jackson reportedly set to become the next head coach at Grambling State. That was from earlier today. So just, again, more of the coaching carousel going on there. Tonight in college basketball, a couple of games out of the Big 12. You'll have number 7 Texas at number 23 Seton Hall. Also number 17 Iowa State taking on Iowa. So little Cyclones versus Hawkeyes coming in basketball later tonight. That'll be an 8 o'clock tip-off, and there's a bunch of other games, but those are the two out of the Big 12. Also tonight in the NFL, Steelers and Vikings at 7:20. That game being played in Minnesota, so that'll be your NFL action this evening. And finally, Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. Paul sent this to me. Trevor Lawrence is speaking out a little bit, and he's talking about his teammate and running back James Robinson. James Robinson has not really benefited from the Urban Meyer coaching change in any way. He's been put on the side for Carlos Hyde on more than a few occasions. Carlos Hyde, of course, played for Urban at Ohio State just a few years ago. But the Jaguars have been getting pummeled. They're a terrible football team, terribly run football team. And there was good stretches where he was not playing. James Robinson just wasn't out there. So now Trevor Lawrence has come out and said, in my eyes, obviously, I'm the one that's out seeing all the pieces moving. I see the whole picture. Bottom line, James is one of our best players, and he's got to be on the field, and we addressed it. I feel like we're in a good spot, and the whole team, we're good. Whatever may have happened, I don't honestly know everything that went into it. But he's advocating for James Robinson to be more involved. And, there's obviously a lot swirling with Jacksonville right now, and who knows, Urban Meyer, what in the hell is going to happen there? But Trevor Lawrence, at least speaking up and saying one thing he'd like to see.
I think the weird thing is that Urban Meyer has said if you fumble the ball, you get benched, which is fine. I mean, good. But then when the second running back fumbles a ball and goes back in, it makes it seem strange.
Yes, very much does.
So, of course, if you have that rule and you have two active tailbacks and then everybody else is kind of something else, you kind of paint yourself into a corner. Eventually, if they both fumble, one of them's got to play.
Yep, so Trevor Lawrence and playing the game stuff happens on the sideline with coaching decisions. I don't really get into that, but I know and I voice my opinion. James is one of our best players, and he's got to be in the game. So there you go. That'll be a few things off the radar. That'll wrap it up.
Yeah, were you going to tell the Mac Jones story about New England and their win or something? Okay, that was still nuts. 4 passes in their win on Monday night in Buffalo as well. We're going to be joined by TCU head football coach Sonny Dykes here momentarily. Also today in the 5 o'clock hour, we'll have Paul in an hour from now, Paul Catalina's top 5. Earlier today, former Oklahoma Hall of Fame and Super Bowl coach Barry Switzer, Mack Rhodes, joined us as well. And we'll talk, we've discussed the coaching carousel quite a bit as well. There have been so many changes. And one of them was just right down the road from TCU to SMU. One note, Baylor volleyball. They won the first and third sets against Minnesota in the regional semifinals, but lost in the fourth set and then lost as well in the fifth set. And Minnesota advances the number 12 seed past Baylor into the round or the Elite Eight. And on the other side of that bracket, Wisconsin is one of those teams as well who could be next for Minnesota.